happiness isn't bliss, I am bringing you another coleslaw recipe. So today's recipe is purple cabbage carrot slaw, or red cabbage coleslaw. So I have a coleslaw recipe on my channel that used a great shortcut in which I bought a bag of pre-cut cabbage and carrots coleslaw mix, and then just added a few ingredients in the bowl with the mix, and that was that, and then the coleslaw was ready after I refrigerated it. In this case, this one is going to kind of be from scratch, and I'm going to add a whole lot more ingredients. Please feel free to check the other one out if you want to see which one suits you better or which one you have time to make. So let's get started. So this is I like to call it purple cabbage. It's known as red cabbage because it's just got that deep dark purple color to it. I've got about 3/4 of a head here, as I've used some of it in salads. It's just a great addition to salads. When you get a salad from a restaurant, you'll notice a lot of times they have this in there as well. Last night I did nachos, and I kind of mixed the cabbage in with the lettuce, the shredded lettuce that I put on the nachos. That was a great way to use it as well. So we will get to that in just a bit. And these are the carrots I'm going with. So I am using a bit of a shortcut with the carrots. This is a 10-ounce bag of matchstick. So they're cut up real nice and small, kind of already prepped and ready to go right in my bowl. So with our 3/4 head, we want to use somewhere between 1/4 and 1/2 head of purple cabbage. So it really depends upon how much coleslaw you want and how much of this cabbage you want in the mix. So I'm going to take just a real good chunk right in the middle there. So that's how much I cut off of there. And you slice it thin. And you slice it, I'm going to have to flip this because I'm not left-handed, but when you slice it thin and you slice it kind of right at the edge, this is what happens. And you get all these great little pieces that are almost pre-cut that just naturally come off of that head of cabbage. So that's a great tip and shortcut as well. If you don't want to have to just be fighting with it or ripping it up with your fingers to get it in the bowl, you can always just cut real thin slices off the edge and then just break those apart and just drop them right in your bowl. All right, so here is my cabbage all prepared in my bowl. I did have to use a couple of methods to get it to look like this. So first one was the one I just showed you, where I cut thin slices off of the chunk of cabbage and then just kind of broke those apart into these little pieces. I did have some stubborn chunks that didn't want to break apart, so for those I had to take the knife and just kind of cut those into strips and pop them in the bowl. So that's that. Now with our carrots, I'm going to add about 1/4 of this bag. This is going to depend upon how many carrots you want in your coleslaw. So if you want more carrots, you can add the whole bag in if you really feel like it. Really depends upon you and how much you love carrots and how much you want in there. But based on the amount of cabbage I have in there, I'm going to go with about 1/4 of the bag and then see where I'm at. Yeah, that looks pretty good to me. That looks like a pretty good even mixture there. So there is my carrots blended with my cabbage. So now we will set this bowl aside. Get yourself another bowl, and that is the bowl that we're going to put all these ingredients into, mix well, and then we will pour it over our cabbage carrot mixture. All right, let's get started on our mixture. So first in the bowl is going to be 1 teaspoon of dried minced onion. If you really want to take it up a notch, you can always put fresh onion in there. I just prefer to work with the dried. Next up is mustard. I go with honey. It's low sodium. Any mustard will do. We want 1 teaspoon of that. 1 garlic clove that we are going to mince. 1/8 cup of olive oil. 1/8 cup of apple cider vinegar. 2 teaspoons of honey. Any variety of honey will do. I'm going with a wildflower honey. 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. You can go with the bottled variety like I have over here, or you can squeeze in fresh lemon. 1/8 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I think that, I would have to say that's the surprise ingredient here, right? A dash of chili powder. If you love chili powder, you love spice, you can put more than a dash. I'm gonna stick with a dash. And then pepper to taste, any variety will do. I'm gonna go with a cracked rainbow peppercorn. So now the idea is we want to take what we've put in our bowl here, and we want to mix and blend that really well, which is why I'm gonna go with my mini whisk, just to make sure I get all the thick honey and the loose, dried seasonings all mixed together instead of just kind of stuck in a clump in the bowl. So there's a bird's eye view of our mixture before it is mixed. So all of our raw ingredients that we will now whisk and blend together. Let me see if I can do this all at once. So that's the idea, guys. Just small circles, scraping the edge, getting all that loose stuff off the edge of the bowl as well. And then just mixing and blending it until it has a nice, smooth look to it and looks like everything is all mixed together. All right, so back with our cabbage carrot bowl. We're gonna take our blended ingredients and we're gonna just pour them over the top there, making sure to get all of it out of the bowl. So you want to give it a little scrape because some of it likes to stay behind there. And now with whatever you choose to use, I'm going to go with a spoon. We're just going to mix that around to make sure that everything gets evenly coated. You can kind of see the liquid on the bottom there, so we want to just lift that up from the bottom and cover everything, or coat everything, I should say. And now all we have left is to refrigerate it for 15 minutes. It will be ready to eat at that point, or you can keep it in the refrigerator longer. I'm gonna reserve this until dinner tonight. I'm gonna pair it with some salsa sloppy joes, if that sounds tasty to you right now. There is a video on my channel with that recipe. Check it out. And after the 15 minutes, we will come back for just a moment, even though I am gonna wait to serve it. I may have a little taste test earlier. We want to garnish the top right before we eat it with some fresh parsley. So I am able to purchase this and find this at my local grocery store. It's very inexpensive, very fresh, and I just take the parsley and just pop it right off the stem and garnish whatever I am using it for and need it for, add it into a recipe. If you don't have fresh, dried works just as well. You know, a lot of times I feature dried on my channel anyway. All right, so our purple cabbage slaw has had a chance to cool in the refrigerator for about 15 minutes. I'm gonna give it a real good mix here. Make sure to coat that once again. And now, I'm gonna put some on a plate. Well, that didn't work very well. There we go. So there it is on a plate. And like we talked about before, we're now gonna garnish the top of that with some of this fresh parsley. So I'm just gonna pluck a little bit of it right off the stem. Just drop it right on top there. just a little bit more. Now if you want to include the stem, use all the parsley, go for it. And there it is, guys. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.